Jordan Lee, congratulations. Your first MLF event, your first MLF championship win. Can you talk a little bit about how it feels and how it feels that you don't get to tell anyone that you won for 7 months?
Yeah, first off, it feels awesome. I mean, it's definitely a accomplishment to win against those anglers. I mean, Wesley Strader, Mark Rose, Fletcher, Brandon Palaniuk. I mean, those are some of the top names in fishing right now. So to be able to beat them and just have a good tournament, and it feels good. I felt like I fished well. But yeah, it's gonna be the hardest part though, is not telling anybody. For a long time. That's going to be tough because normally after you win a tournament, you're like, oh, I won, and you want to tell everybody, but you're going to have to keep the lips sealed on this one. But it was a lot of fun, and just kind of glad it went my way.
Talk a little bit about the first Major League Fishing experience from day one till today.
Yeah, day one was a totally new experience. Didn't know what to expect coming in the first tournament, and had a tough couple periods. I mean, it was really tough fishing. I mean, there was only a few fish caught. I wasn't one of them. I was struggling, and I was thinking, man, I'm not even going to catch a fish. In my first Major League fishing, I thought it was going to be one of those days where it's just tough, and you get eliminated in that first round so easily. So. Luckily, I caught 2 fish, and it moved me on. Came in third, moved me on to sudden death, and felt a little bit more comfortable going in sudden death just because I knew a little bit what to expect, and I'd been to the lake before, so that gave me a little confidence on where to start, what I needed to do, and got off to a good start. And anytime it seems like in a tournament, no matter what it is, if I can get off to early morning, catch a couple fish, get the day going. It seems like it goes a little bit better, and was able to read Texoma well, and ended up doing good there, and I carried that over to today at Lake of the Arbuckles. I mean, having that confidence coming in that I'd won the last round I went out, last round I fished in. And just gave me a little confidence to go out there and trust my instincts and, kind of do what I needed to do, and made the right choices, and, went my way.
Well, it's no secret that it was hot out today. Can you tell us how that affected the fish?
It's really been a hot week in Oklahoma. I mean, every day that I've been out there, it's been in the mid-90s, water temps up in the mid to high 80s. And, but it's the time of year I like to fish. I mean, I fish a lot back home this time of year in the summer, and kind of know what to look for, and that's what I look for today. I was looking for a little cooler water, and I know other anglers were doing that, running in the backs of the creeks where you just get a couple degree cooler water. I mean, if you see 85 on the main lake and you go back in the creek and see 81, I mean, there can be a group of fish that live back there. And that's really what I was targeting, for most of the day. I mean, it's just kind of like us humans. We want to be in the shade. We want to be in a little cooler weather. It's the same thing with the fish. I mean, the shad, the bass, they migrate, move to the backs of these creeks where it's just a little bit cooler. And, that's where I was, concentrating on fishing.
So it wasn't just hot out there. It's also Memorial Day weekend out there.
Yep.
Can you talk a little bit about how that affected the lake and the conditions of the lake to have so many people out there?
Yeah, Memorial Day weekend, everybody knows. I mean, it's crazy on the water. It doesn't matter what lake you go to, and the lake we were on today, it was no different. I mean, there was tons of people, out there skiing. There was wakes, and I kind of got away from that. That's one of the reasons I picked where I was going to. I knew it was going to be a crowded day. Knew I was going to have to get away from a lot of the boat traffic, and that affects fishing. I mean, when you have big boats and pontoons running over points, I mean, the fish don't really love that. I mean, that it's not something that they really feed during those times. I mean, it makes a lot of noise, and backs in the creeks where I was at, there was no boats. I mean, it's real shallow. And I feel like that's probably one of the reasons I had success where I was at, just because there wasn't a lot of boat traffic or pleasure boaters.
So looking at your baits on the table there, it looks like you've got a couple of standards for the summer. You've got top
Yep.
water, and then you've got plastic there. Talk about those a little bit.
Yeah, I started off the day, was looking for main lake points that, the shad were moving up on. And, the fish came up busting one time, and I had a Strike King Sexy Dog tied on, and this is color's called Oyster. And I had a few bites on this, caught a few quick fish, got my day going, and the bite kind of shut off there. So I came back a little bit later. I struggled around and decided to slow down on it, on the point I was fishing, and this is a Strike King Finesse worm on a 3/16 ounce jig head, and threw it up there first cast and caught a 3.5 pound smallmouth. So that kind of told me, okay, there's some fish here. I just need to slow down and, use both of these baits all day. Ended up in the creeks kind of using the same baits. Caught my biggest fish on the Sexy Dog. It was a 413 largemouth, and, it was back there feeding on shad. I've seen some shad moving back there, and, it got me a few key bites. And when that shut off in the backs of the creeks too, there was a lot of rock where I was fishing, and I could throw a square bill or this shaky head. I probably caught 5 or 6 on the shaky head, in the very back of this creek where the last little bit of deep water was. And, those two baits were really probably the key for me, on winning.
All right. So did you learn anything in this event that you can take into the next MLF event?
Just really strategy. I mean, I felt like the strategy part of it, when other guys are catching them, that can really change what you do. But I felt like it helped me the last few days, knowing, if other guys were really catching them or really not catching them, because you could really plan your day around that. If it's going to be a tough day, you really don't know when you show up if it's going to be a really tough day or that they're going to smoke them. So you really kind of have to play it by ear and play it off that score tracker. If they're lighting it up, you need to keep up the pace, and if they're not, you can expand and definitely try some different water. So that's kind of what I'm going to take on to the next event, and we'll see how it goes. Hopefully it goes as good as this week.
How are you going to celebrate this win?
Well, I think we're going to celebrate, number one, probably by going home. We hadn't been home in a while, so that's really the number one part of the celebration. Maybe this weekend, it settles down a little bit, may throw a little small party or something, but, really just go home and relax for a few days. That's our celebration.
We'll let you get to that, Jordan. Congratulations again. We will see you at the next select event, and now we will see you at the Summit Cup
there you
as
go.
well.
Can't wait. Thank you.